MS500I, ported by Jason Egan, 10-pin sprocket. Welcome back to Frontier Firewood. My name's Bracken.
I'm Buddy.
We got a couple new stickers on our job box. We have Simonton Seasonal Services. It took forever to get here. It actually got destroyed in the mail and he's resending us another one. That's why you can't see it. He has a cover on it. They're actually a pretty good sticker. You peel the front off and instead of sitting there and fighting them. So we'll be looking forward to putting that one on the box. Who's this one, bud?
Up to Something Outdoors. His name's Jonathan, and he restores boats.
I think he scraps boats. He takes the parts off, and then it's all right. We've watched him a few times. He's watched us. I believe he's friends with Hardworking Man, Heath and Rachel. But if you haven't seen his channel, go over and check him out. Give him a like, comment, and share. And we appreciate all those who sent us stickers. We have Tim from Pioneer Tree Works, Rick's Outdoors, Craig's Cord to Coals, Neighborly Homestead,
Firewood in the Field, Up to Something Outdoors, Brandon Hode, Lake Ontario Firewood.
So with that being said, we're just gonna cut a cord today because this morning it decided to start raining on us. I just wanted to point out I've had some comments saying I needed to build a bucking table. I've built a bucking table. It's not as big as what the viewer was saying, but if I was to build one like that, I don't know how much that'd cost. All this is scrap cross arms. I mentioned it in one of the recent videos that I've had one. But I prefer these power poles laid crosswise, it gets up just a little bit high. It's not too high for Buddy, and it's not too low for me. It helps us keep the bars out of the dirt, and it's kind of a challenge, you know. I've found this way that you're sitting there moving the logs so you're not wasting a bunch of wood. Like if you don't get it on there perfectly square, then you're trying to scoot it, and then you're trying to cut in your 16 marks. And I've also touched on why we use the AccuMark. But without further ado, we'll get to marking some logs and cutting it. Today we're going to be running the 500i. It has a 20-inch bar and a 10-pin sprocket. So we're just, like I've mentioned previously, we're just out here having fun. And then I'll be running my old MS391. I think I started thinking about it earlier today. I've had it for around 10 years. When we lived in West Virginia, that's what I cut all the wood with. So we'll just be showing a little bit of the difference between the two. We've ran the 391 for a little bit. We're going to switch over to the 500i. Like I mentioned, I have a 10-pin sprocket. I don't recommend you guys running it. Do what you want. We all have the same freedom that everybody else does. We're just here to have fun. I wanted to see if it'd take the four-stroking away. I'm in pine. You guys are most likely cutting hardwood, so we'll go from there. She's hot. I ran this a little bit earlier and forgot to check the tension on the saw. It got warm and got a little loose, so I just tightened it back up. We'll see how it goes. Back to the 391. Oh, I forget it's not like my 400. The 400 doesn't, it's got a kill switch, but it's like momentary. It flips back to run. Messed up. Round 2, same log. Oh, not the 400. crooked. For all you fans of the electric world, here we go. Just so everyone's aware, I don't think I've ever sharpened this chain, and I've marked 2 semi-loads. One semi-load I've got an average of 13 to 14 cords, so not really a fair fight, but just thought we'd do this just for a little laugh. We appreciate you all watching to the end, and hopefully you could be able to tell the difference between the 391, the 500i, and the DeWalt. They're all pretty fun to run. I probably will take that 10 pin off and save the wear and tear on the motor and back it down to an 8 or 7 pin depending on which bar length. I think that's the main thing, is the bar length and the chain you're running, and if it's sharp. The 391 did pretty good. I haven't ran it in a long time, and It had a sharp chain on it. I believe that one was a steel chain. And the one that was on the 500i is a Duke's. It was a skip tooth. What do you think, Bud? What's your opinion on the different saws?
I feel like the 500i makes a whole bunch of sawdust.
Sawdust or chips?
Saw chips.
Yeah, you did get some eaten today, didn't you?
Yep,
Did you sit in the wrong spot?
unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Well, that's all right. We all learn from our mistakes. It's not really a mistake, but you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
What do you have to say, Bud?
Remember who you are and what you stand for. Have safe and be fun.
Until next time, hopefully we'll get you to click on our channel again.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away.